Would each one of you at this point take a look at your watch, if you have one on? This is not a trick or anything. This is a part of the message. Watch. No, don't take it off. Just look at it. I'm going to give you instructions of what to do with it in just a moment. Take your watch off and take a look at it. What time do you have, D? What time do you have?
10:46.
I'm asking one person at a time. There's a purpose for this. 10:46?
10:47 now.
What time do you have? What time you got? Sister, what time you have? Someone else give me a time. Okay, thank you. That's the time on your watch. But what time is it?
Man.
What time is it? Where you going with that? I'm so glad you asked. Because the time on our watches is not necessarily the time that it is. Will help me some more. I got you. Is that the time in my life? Is that the time in my environment? Is that the time in my family's life? Let me explain that. The time in my life today may be dreary. I didn't get any sleep last night, so I'm tired. Don't talk to me about what time it is on your watch. I'm going to tell you about my time. I have anger problems. That's my time. Most of the day, I'm angry because this was done to me, I am angry. And some of us say, all the time. Really? But the person is serious. I am hurt desperately. That's what time it is for me. My children and my grandchildren have made a mess of my life, and I have taken them on, and even though they're grown and husky and rusty, I'm taking care of them now. I am sick and tired. That's what time it is in my life. So oftentimes when we look at a clock, it'll give us some numbers. It'll let us know if it's AM or PM, but it doesn't let me know about me. What's going on with me? Some of you, I dare say, as you was watching the second presentation, the narration of this slave before he died, probably looked at that and say, that ain't true, or it couldn't be that bad, I just don't get into that slave stuff. Let me say this to many of us. That might not have been your picture of slavery. But do you know some of us are slaves up here? And some of you are ministering to some of us who are slaves up here all the time. You're praying for them. You're trying to encourage. You're trying to exhort. Still slaves. Right up here. And then when we bring the word of God to the table, I don't want to hear nothing about no Bible. Slaves, really slaves up here. All you want to do is talk to me about the Bible. Stop calling me, talking to me about the Bible. Do you know what my husband did to me? Anger. Know what anger will do? Destroy us. Because we'll get more angry out. I'm dissatisfied. I just wish the Lord sometime would just take me out of here. If you've not heard it, I've heard those statements. What time is it? What time is it? See, the things I'm talking about now have nothing to do with watches. But a time is associated with it. Time of burden, being burdened down, as one songwriter said. Burdened down. So today, I want you to turn to 1 Chronicles chapter 12. And we're just going to we're going to spend most of our time on one verse. And that's verse 38. 32. 32. 1 Chronicles 12:32. From the tribe of Issachar, there were 200 leaders of the tribe with their relatives. All these men understood the temper of the times and knew the best course for Israel to take. They understood the temper of the time and the best course that Israel could take. Let me set it up for you. Saul is dead. Who's going to be our next king? The sons of Issachar, wise, over 200. Leaders, plus relatives. So we know who ought to be the next king. We have understood the times, even when Saul was king. We understood the temperature when Saul was king. We gauged the temperature when Saul was king. And we gauged Saul and we gauged David. And it's now time that David be king. And we're going to stand by it. The other tribes respected the tribe of Issachar. Yes. My wife and I Thursday evening watched Dr. Phil. I'm going to admonish you. I'm really admonishing you, and that is asking you. Take a look, if you can pull it up, Monday's presentation at 3 o'clock, this past Monday. Dr. Phil dealt with social media in the lives of our children, in the lives of our grandchildren, and in the lives of young adults. Brought tears to our eyes. There was a parent sitting there whose son killed his wife, killed his mother. Came in the house one day and said, I want y'all to close your eyes just for a moment. When the father woke up, he was in the hospital. Not dead, but almost dead. His wife had been killed by their son due to their telling him he had to get off of social media. Due to them telling him, you got to put that phone and that tablet down. Our children now are addicted to that stuff. I'm telling you, not my truth. I'm telling you the truth. You can walk up and take your grandson or granddaughter's phone out of their hand. You might get slapped in the next week. Laugh at me if you want to. Talk, watch that, and then tell other people that you know who have children and grandchildren for them to watch it. It's scary. Scientists now have said that there is a disease of the brain caused by social media apps on the phones and the tablets. Remember a few months ago when Pastor August had the youth, the young people coming over during the noon hour? For the first month or so, they ain't paid no attention to him. This is what they were doing. Until he physically took the phones for his teaching period. Look at your house. Dun, 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 dun. What time is it? Look in your community as it relates to your children, your children's children, and their children's children, your relatives' children. My wife and I go walking. And at Caroline Park, they have this nice little track, which is you go around it 4 times, you've done a mile. Parents come out there with their children in those little buggies that they push as they walk behind them. Those little babies got phones in their hands. And it's not like they don't know what they're doing with it. I'm looking and walking by, they got phones in their hands. Parents, grandparents. We did not a just thing. We did an unjust thing with those phones for our children. When we bought them, you know what we bought them for? So they could get out of my face. I'm tired of these children. We gave them phones so that they could be detached from us, dislodged from us, and now they sure don't want to be around us because they could care less about us because they're in another world. And they are enjoying that world. Question on the floor again. What time is it? What does a little 2, 3-year-old, 4-year-old baby got to do? Got the business having a tablet or a cell phone? And then we wonder how a 6-year-old can take a gun to school and shoot the principal, shoot the teacher. We wonder how other children can go and shoot up other children and shoot up adults. And we wonder why. Yeah. Go on and put them in the corner if you want them. Give them something so they can stay away from you so you can do your own thing. You'll pay for it one way or another. You sure won't pay for it up here. And you may pay for it physically. And one day you walk up to one of them and they slap you so hard you've never been hit that hard in your life. Where did it come? Where did it come from? What time is it? I saw so many young people going back to this right for a moment. I'll go ahead on with the next area. I saw so many young people in the facility a few months ago. I'm sitting back in the back at some of the round tables and all that kind of stuff, and they just doing this. They just doing this. Pastor August was preaching and trying to get some points over. Nobody looking at it. You make some major decisions if you can, because you ought to. Dr. Field, this past Monday at 9 o'clock. I won't dare you to take a look at it, but you won't be the same. Pass it on to your children's children. Pass it on to your children who have children. Pass that one on. Tell them to look at it. Tell them to look at it. So now, not only what time is it, what's going on? We are the same ages, so I'll just go back to 1977. Mother, mother, there's too many of you crying. Brother, 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 there's far too many of you dying. You know we got to find a way to bring some loving here today. Father, Father, we don't need to escalate. You see, war is not the answer, for only love can conquer hate. You know we've got to find a way to bring some loving here today. Picket lines and picket signs. Don't punish me with brutality. Talk to me so you can see what's going on. Now see, I know you don't know Marvin Gaye. I know you don't know it. You have become so Christianified, you don't know Marvin Gaye. 1971. Asking the question in the song in 1971 that we ought to be asking today, what's going on? What time is it? They still trying to pull out the stuff in Memphis. 5 policemen. EMT, 6. Okay, 6. Probably be 9 or 10 tomorrow. Might be the whole department day after tomorrow. But it's not just in Memphis. We saw them on the video in Memphis. But it's all over, I think. I'm just saying I think. So Marvin, even though you're not here, we got to ask the same question you asked back in 71. What's going on? Because if we don't get our hands straight to say, son, sit here with me. I want to talk to you. You know, even our little old 3, 4, 5, 6 months old babies, don't watch it. Their parents putting cell phones in their hands. Teaching them how to use it, but not teaching them how to read the Bible. We're a mess. It's in a mess. So, the children of Issachar understood the time. Do we understand the times? Oh my goodness. The Lord wants us to know what time it is and what to do. And that's my purpose today. What time is it and what to do? So let's look at what time it is, the exact time. It's time to trust God. The Israelites cast their lots with David rather than Saul. That's number 1. Number 2, it's time for our children to cast their lots with God rather than social media. Number 3, it's time for there to be a godly mouth in their ear instead of isolation. Go sit over there and play, baby. Go play, baby. Even if it's not with a machine, a watch, tablet, a phone. Y'all go over there and play. I ain't got time for you right now. Isolation. And after a while, that child won't even think in terms of you being important in their lives. Because you push them away because you don't have time for them. Number 4, it's time to get our heads out of the sand and recognize this demon is huge and powerful. And I'm talking about social media. Huge and powerful. Try to take your phone from your 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old, 12-year-old. Sure ain't going to mess with a teenager's phone. Try. No, you don't. Don't try that because you might get hurt and then I could be sued. No, don't you try that because it won't work. This, it's not classified as a disease yet, but this power of social media not only messes with the brain, but when they don't have that phone, it's a dislocation of that tablet. They are dislocated from it, from those things, and their anger builds up and their temper goes crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a little thing to do. This is a war. Number 5, it's time to know that left unguided and unguarded, social media will accomplish its goal to destroy our children, and they don't even know it. Don't even know it. I'm not telling us anything we don't know. You see it around maybe in your own lives, in your own families. I'm not telling us anything we don't know. I'm just trying to bring it up to the table and then talk about what God's answer for the issue is. Interesting facts regarding our teenagers and young adults using social media on their phones. They suffer from, they got a name for it, nomophobia. That is fear of not having my smartphone tablet with me. Nomophobia. I'm numb. Science is now showing overuse of the smartphones could change their brain. Or the brain, your brain, if you hooked on that thing. Some get addicted within 2 weeks of getting their first phone or tablet. Some are on their phones and tablets 10 to 12 hours straight. Where are we, parents, if it's in our household? Where are we, grandparents, if we're keeping our grandchildren? Where are we? Dr. Phil asked this. He said, could we be losing our children to the online world forever? Yeah. Well, after a glimpse of what time it is, let's look at resolution. What do we do? What do we do? I have 3 things. We need to fast and pray. Because man ought to always pray and not faint. Luke 18:1. We're in a battle. Call all your prayer warriors. Jenny, girl, I got an issue. I haven't shared this with anyone because I'm too embarrassed. I didn't know, but now that I know, I need you to pray for me. I need you to pray for my child. I need you to pray for my children. I need you to pray for my grandson, my granddaughter. Jenny, I need your help. Call on a prayer warrior. Amen. We're in a battle. And call on it. Get in the Word. To stay in the Word, God will tell us what to do. I could hoop this out, and God will show them, tell us what to do. I mean what I'm saying right here. That doesn't do anything. Doesn't do anything. It just does the same thing those phones and tablets do. Raise up your endorphins in your brain, all that kind of stuff. No. We've got an issue on our hands. And it's a mess. Amen. The sons of Issachar knew what Israel ought to do. Join David, make him king and not Saul. This is the essence of wisdom. That is, to know what to do, and no matter what the situation, do it. Such wisdom should characterize God's people. Amen. It's time to seek God, number 1. Trust God, number 2, and stand on that trust. One of Marvin Gaye's statements was, Mother, mother, everybody thinks we're wrong. Oh, but who are they to judge us simply cause our hair's long? Oh, you know we've got to find a way to bring some understanding here today. Picket lines and picket signs, don't punish me with brutality. Come on, talk to me so you can see what's going on. I can't tell you what's all going on. I'm just touching on something that's dear to me because I have a 6-month-old great-grandson. And I'm not going to hesitate to be in our grandson's ear and our granddaughter-in-law's ear. Because what we all have to do now is put these little babies in front of TVs, in their little old wagon, whatever we got for them. And we get on our machines because we're working at home. Spending more time with these computers for working at home than working with our children and for our children and on our children at home. So they got to be away from us. I'm not talking about my great-grandson now. I'm talking about us. Because we're working. If we ain't working, we're doing something else. I ain't got time for you, child. Go do something. And they are doing it. One young lady left home, got so mad because her mother took the cell phone. Mother thought she had done something. The girl went to her next door neighbor's house and continued to do what she was doing. They got a system. And it works. So what do? Become men and women of the tribe of Issachar. We understand the times and what